Hello and welcome back to UKSG Autumn 2021. We are here raising money for Crisis, a charity working towards ending homelessness. I hope you've been enjoying this Metal Gear Solid block, and it is now my great privilege to hand us over to the last run of the evening. This is ApacheSmash running Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater with blindfolded bosses. Take it away, Apache.
Thanks very much, Nick. Hi, everyone. Good to be here. Again, it's my 8th time at UKSG, so must be doing something right. I'll get the timer underway because we've got a lot of talking we can do heading up to the first boss. So we'll start the run in 3, 2, 1, go. I'll just get that out of the way real quick. I'm ApacheSmash. I'm joined with my co-commentator. His name is Major Zero. Welcome, my friend.
Hello, hello. How are you doing, Apache?
I'm really good, mate. I'm really good. Blindfolded bosses is is a new way I found to play the game, so I'm always looking for ways to make this game harder for myself. And I do plan to route the entire game blindfolded, but I was having a lot of fun doing just the bosses, so I thought we could start with that at a marathon. So every single time I get to a boss in the game, and there are quite a few of them, I will be completely blindfolded. And just so you're aware, I will have to change headphones when I get to a boss, just so I can't hear Major. I don't want to get any hints from him, anything like that. It's going to be all based on the game sound. So the bosses that includes is starting with the Ocelot unit, then Ocelot himself, the Pain, the Fear, the End, the Fury. I'll remember them all, don't worry, I'll remember them all. The Sorrow, Volgin, and then the Volgin Shagohad fight, and then the boss as well. So there's a lot going on. Just as an aside, a lot of things can go wrong with these blindfolded bosses. You will see me make mistakes, but anytime I do make a mistake where I have to take a continue or reset the fight, I will donate personally $5 to Crisis, so we'll tally all that up at the end. For how many continues I get, $5 for each one, and it'd be great if anyone out there would like to match me as well. Crisis are a great charity, so I would like to raise some money for them. So this is on easy difficulty. All the bosses are beatable on normal difficulty as well, which I have routed and shown that it's possible. But the thing to say about that is the Fury is really, really difficult, and there's basically no margin for error. It's not very marathon friendly. It's not very marathon friendly anyway, but just that amount of leeway you get with reduced health, it becomes like 5 or 10 times more difficult. So maybe in the future. And I have routed the actual easy difficulty as well. I've run all difficulties for this game. So you've seen me, you know, if you've watched UKSG before, I've done European Extreme here. I've done European Extreme Tuxedo. I've done quite a few MGS3 runs at UKSG.
Basic speedrun tech, you'll notice that he's rolling into every cutscene trigger and load zone that he can, because the roll actually gives you a little bit of a speed boost at the beginning, but the end is really slow and has a lot of really slow recovery animation frames. So he rolls into load zones and cutscene triggers, but generally it's slower to roll on level ground. He also rolls uphill and across stairs because it's faster than doing the animation for walking across those. But other than that, rolling's pretty much out of the question.
No bosses in the Virtuous mission, sadly, so we're doing all this with sight. Something I did there was I just had to take out one guard, and you can actually put a trank in him and bump all the way through him before he gives you an alert. If you trank a guard and then knock them down, they immediately go to sleep, which is very useful. The difficulty doesn't gradually go up through the game either. Ocelot unit is the first boss we'll face, and in my opinion it's one of the hardest. I'd say it's probably the second hardest in the whole run. I wouldn't say any of them are free. There's just so much that can go wrong, and it's a lot based at the start of the fight. Like if you mess up the initial fight, you'll generally just see me reset it straight away. Also, as a side note, I'm really sick. I have a cold and some really bad allergy problems, so I'll try not to sneeze on camera or anything like that, but I'm not doing too well. But I'll do my best with this run. Oh, I missed the log roll.
Aw.
Reset. You can actually roll over a lot of objects in this game that you're not really supposed to be able to. And we're just going through the same area we went through just a moment ago, but now at night. Quite a lot of time has passed. It's actually within the game story. It's a different mission entirely. And we have no gun here, so we're going to use our first stun grenade. I just line up and wait for the first guard to notice me, and that's how I know I'm at a good range to throw it. Oh, because as a consequence of Blindfolded, I am going to be stun grenading you guys quite a lot during fights. Because the stun grenade doesn't have an effect on Snake inside of the game, only visually. And because I'm blindfolded anyway during the boss fights, it doesn't matter if the stun grenade goes off in front of me. But it does matter for you guys, and the screen does go completely white like that, so I do apologize for stunning you all.
Something Apache just did that you might have easily missed is he cooked a stun grenade as he was walking past that guard, and that's a trick that silences your footsteps. On some terrains, if you just cook a grenade without throwing it, Snake's footsteps will be completely silent to guard, so you can just walk right by him.
We have to do some setup, so this is just before the first boss, the Ocelot unit. There's some setup I have to do inside of the game first, and then I also have to change headphones as well. But I'm going to get the AK-47 from up here. We used to use this gun for the Ocelot unit in Blindfolded, but it's actually fine to use the pistol now. But we do use the AK-47 for the Fury and the Fear. I also need to grab a box, cardboard box from up here. And then when I get into the Ocelot unit room, I'm going to break the window as well. And that makes it much easier during the fight to get out of this window. So I'm just going to change headphones now. So I won't be able to hear, but Major, please explain as best you can this fight.
I'll do my best. So, going into Ocelot unit here in just a second. Ocelot unit, there's no real tricks for this fight. It's going to be all execution and all Apache's knowledge of the fight and how the game mechanics work and behave in this fight. So as he starts the fight, he's going to roll out of the window that he just broke, which is going to get him an alert, and that alert is very important because that alert is going to lure all of the guards near some explosive barrels near the end of the fight, which you'll see a little bit later on. He's going to do that roll out the window and then AK the dude to the southeast. Or actually pistol him. As he said, we don't really use the AK anymore. Old habits. So there, that guy on the roof just threw a grenade at him. He needs to dodge that. That guy will always throw the grenade right at where you're standing. So you do have to wait for him to throw it before you can actually dodge it. And just then, Apache shot the barrels as all the guards were bunched up around them. Very nice. That got everyone. Perfect. That's really good execution. You usually have one or two guys left over, but he managed to get them all. So then he's going to climb up the ladder and throw a stun grenade at the guard in the southwest. Sometimes this can miss because that guard can be a little bit weird sometimes, but he did get him. That's a flawless Ocelot unit. That's exactly what you're looking for. That was really good.
That went well. I stayed up on the roof a little bit longer. You can just like dive down to end the fight, but sometimes when you throw that stun grenade, oh, my capture card just crashed. I'm really sorry, guys. I'll what an event.
Oh no.
It will come back. It's just having a moment. Sorry about that. With the last guard, you climb up to the top of the ladder and you just throw the stun grenade out underarm throw towards where he usually is. He can be in a number of places and you can't tell exactly where he is off sound. The game sounds very strange. It doesn't give you like complete range, so they're like louder the further they get louder the further away they are, that kind of thing. the only kind of information you really get is like they're on the left, they're on the right. So it's not always possible to tell if he's completely down. And because the stun grenade goes off on us, I just kind of took a moment to wait and make sure he was gone. I forgot to put the box on.
Yeah, this game is not very good about giving you spatial awareness with the audio. It doesn't have very good 3D audio, so you really have to kind of your audio cues are very vague sometimes.
Yeah, because of that, we just kind of work around it with the game. There is a position that the Ocelot unit roof guard will go to where he's bottom right, and you can tell that before you go up the ladder. You can kind of tell he's there, and you have a chance to like sneak up on him and grab him, even blindfolded. But unfortunately, it didn't give me that option today. That's what I was hoping for, though.
But there are mines in this room, but he knows exactly where they're all at, so he's just gonna dodge them cleanly. Perfect.
I don't have to rely on like super precise audio cues for this next boss, so I won't change headphones. But Major, just don't tell me anything, all right? Just don't give away any info to me.
I'll try not to.
But feel free to just talk while I'm doing it. Like it's basically a loop. The next boss, I'm gonna go between my stun grenade and my Mark 22, and I'm gonna keep him held in position whilst blindfolded. I really am glad to be out of the Ocelot unit with only one try. That is a rough boss, blindfolded. All right, here we go.
All right, Ocelot. Ocelot, we do normally loop him on all difficulties, and he's going to do the same thing here. He's going to use a sequence of stun grenades and Mark 22 shots to keep him in place, to keep Ocelot in place as long as he can. First thing he's going to do is stop Ocelot in his tracks with a Mark 22 shot, and then throw a stun grenade, and hopefully keep repeating that process to keep him in place. It is possible that Ocelot will escape from the loop at any time, and that is not entirely down to Apache's control. It's a little bit random, and also based on timing, exactly when you throw the stun grenade. Because you have to throw the stun grenade in the middle of an attack, of one of Ocelot's attacks, in order to stun him completely. But that worked perfectly. That was good timing. He kept him in place right by the tree for the whole fight. Really good.
So it's super dark in this area. The next boss is the Pain. He is a pain, and Major himself actually pioneered a brand new blindfold strategy for this boss, where we're going to be able to aim at the Pain almost straight away by manipulating the 3D camera or the subsistence camera and using the menu to stop it where we need it to be. So I'm going to do all this blindfolded. I will swap headphones for this. It does rely on quite a lot of sound cues. It's a really rough boss, but I appreciate Major Zero coming up with a new strat for me about an hour ago.
Man, even the second room of your cave is really dark. That's crazy.
Yeah. My stream recently funded me a new capture card, so I'll be doing that. I'll be getting a new one real soon. But I'm gonna just swap headphones here rather than doing it in a sec. But cheers.
Cool. All right, so the Pain. As he said, there is a new strat for the Pain. He's going to use the menu and the subsistence camera to buffer his aim towards the Pain. So what he's going to do going into the fight is he's going to be in the 3D camera, so he can move it around at will, and he's going to hold right analog stick and R2. And by the time the menu actually opens, the camera will be pointing straight at the Pain, as you can see now. And he presses up D-pad, cooks a stun grenade. For some reason, cooking the stun grenade makes the Pain not move. It's weird AI magic hitherto unknown to science, but it makes him stop moving. So after that, he just spams some Mark 22 shots at him. After he gets 4 shots on the Pain's gonna put up a bullet B shield or whatever it is, and he has to take that down with a stun grenade. And after that, just some Mark 22 shots to finish phase 1. And phase 2 is exactly the same as the ending of phase 1. He needs to throw a stun grenade to take down the B shield, and then just some well-placed Mark 22 shots, just like that, to finish up the entire fight. That was really clean.
I'm so happy with that. I'm so happy with that. That's a really rough fight. We literally, Major and me were labbing that camera switch strategy literally an hour ago. Like, that's completely new to the run, so. And as they say in the game, you shouldn't practice a strategy you've only heard about in the midst of battle, but it had to be done.
So, Apache, would you like to explain how you're actually aiming when you can't see?
We use normalized strategies. So the same amount of taps each time will line us up with the pane. In the first section, obviously I manipulated the camera and then pressed up. I pulled out the stun grenade, held it, and when you switch back to the gun, from testing we know that that will mean the gun's immediately on the pane. In phase 2, after I throw the stun grenade, I know that if I go into first person and hold my gun out, press left twice, that will also be aiming at the pane as well. And there's like problems with that because the pane will occasionally just ignore you and he'll just wander off in a direction. Generally, if that happens, we'll reset the fight, and it can happen, but it's so rare, and he can do a number of different things if he decides to, that we can't really like have backups for each one. Like if he walks left or right, there's no real way to kind of scout for him. In phase 2, you're on a timer as well. Like after a certain amount of time, he will cover you in the Hornets, and you know at that point you're just in trouble basically.
Yeah, I didn't even mention the bullet bees. That fight was over so quick, I didn't have time to. In phase 2, there's bullet bees, the red hornets that he throws at you, and those can be easily dodged in the HD collection by just holding R1. If you're in first person, for some reason, they'll miss like 99% of the time. I don't know why. Weird FPS bug, I think. Anyway, he just did some really important damage to the end. He shot 2 barrels. One of those damaged to the end, and that's extremely important because that damage that he did to the end there is going to carry over into the fight, and he's going to start the fight with 1/4 of his health missing. It also has the added benefit of getting rid of the guards in the room, but mostly it's for the end.
Yeah, we really do need, especially in Blindfolded, on all versions we'll generally do that because it just makes the loop shorter when we actually fight him, and it's very easy and quick to get that damage on the end. But in Blindfolded especially, I'm going to attempt to one cycle the end once I get to him, and then if the one cycle kind of fails, there's only like one backup for it, but I need his health to be that low.
That's right. Very important. You also might have noticed Apache was using the box up the stairs there, and the reason for that... Actually, did you use the box?
I did.
Okay, I thought so. I have old school strats in my head where you don't use the box, and I was just kind of going off of memory. Anyway, he used the box going up those stairs there. The reason for that is because the box, they didn't program a uphill or upstairs walking animation for it, so you just walk at full speed with it on upstairs. So it's the fastest way to traverse upstairs and hills. So he's going to use it from now on upstairs and hills.
We're just coming to the lab here. The last speedrun I did at UKSG was European Extreme Tuxedo, and we obviously can't use the disguise for the lab in that run. On the easy difficulty, we don't use the disguise simply because it's faster. So we'll do a couple of things to make sure we don't take an alert. We don't want to take an alert because it won't let us meet Granin. It essentially won't let us progress the game if we get an alert. If we get one after we meet Granin, it doesn't really matter. We just kind of try and avoid that anyway. I'm just going to trank roll this first guard, take out this second from the doorway. You can use boxes to open doors. The box is extremely useful all the way through the game. Major was saying it's faster to traverse up inclines in it. It's also fireproof as well, so we use that quite a lot versus the Fury. If the Fury hits you while you're in the box, you take less damage and you don't catch fire, so it's really, really important. Also low profiles you, which stops you getting an alert just there. Scientists will not alert to a box as well, so just it just I can't even name all the uses of the box. There's just so many.
We often talk about how useful the box is, and we say that we would rather have the box than stealth camo, and it's totally true. It's way faster than stealth camo. If you had the box or stealth camo, you'd save like dozens of seconds with the box, but nothing with stealth, basically.
Yeah, like I'd be happy to race anyone stealth camo, but they can't use the box, and I'll use the box but can't use stealth camo. I'd be down. Picked up some cigar gas spray there as well at that little room. That's going to be imperative for killing the end.
Have we got time for a quick
I've
donation?
always got time for you, my friend.
We have got a $100 donation from Precious Roy, who says, "Gotta slip this in real quick while Apache can't see it." Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Roy.
Precious
Roy is one of my very good friends. Thank you very much, my friend. We're just heading on over to the Fear now. Again, I won't change headphones for the Fear. It's such a fast fight. It essentially relies on me getting one audio cue completely correct, otherwise it won't work. So I'm going to use the fake death pill to kill the Fear, and I'm going to stun him as he's walking towards me. So I just use an audio cue of the game over screen sound.
That's right. As the fight starts, he's going to use the fake death pill, and he's going to revive at a particular moment. And when he hears the game over music, he's going to listen for a specific note to revive at. And he's going to throw a stun grenade at his feet, because the Fear is going to run up to him, and he's going to be right next to him. He's going to throw a stun grenade at his feet, which is going to stun the Fear. And it causes a weird bug with the Fear. When the Fear is stunned, all of the damage that he takes turns into stamina damage, and for some reason he gets no iframes. Very strange bug, or feature, as some people like to look at it. And it means you can just tear him to shreds with like a rifle like this. Very quickly.
Hopefully. Yeah. Good times. Gotta remember to cure and stuff here. This boss went for a few different little ways of doing the fight. I used to start with a cigar and run top right for a certain number of beeps, and then use a rope trap. All sorts of different minor things I did to the fight. And the version that I just did there is by far the easiest and the most consistent. It's a little glitch there. It was found by a runner called Apel. When you fall off certain objects in the game, it will let you grab objects higher up above you. There's a few ridiculous ones in the game, but sadly they don't make it into the speedrun, which is a shame.
That room is a very contentious room. There's so many interesting bugs in there, and for years we've been trying to get past that red door that he just walked through early. And recently, Apel, the same guy who found that railing grab there, found a way to actually do it. He found a way to get past that door and skip the entire lab segment along with the Fear. So it saves about 6 minutes in a run. Unfortunately, it's not possible in single segment because it requires a bug that only works from a soft reset. But still very cool, and it's absolutely a huge time save in all multi-segment runs.
Yeah, not only is it like a HD collection only, but it's PS3 only as well. You can't do it on the Xbox.
That's right, I forgot about that.
Alright, this next part's the end. It's not the end of the run, it's a boss called the end. There's also a boss called the boss, but that's not this boss. That boss is at the end. Let's get that in quickly. I will have to change headphones and stuff for this. So we're going to do the end blindfolded. We're going to do all 3 rooms, so I'll be back.
So for the end, the hardest part is definitely getting to him. It's a long walk. It's about a minute of walking done well when you're looking at the screen. So there's a lot of obstacles to contend with in the way. And on top of all of that, you have the end who will be shooting at you during all of it. So he has to try not to get shot. It's not all that likely that he'll get his stamina totally reduced, but it's possible. If the end does reduce his stamina to 0, then he'll take Snake back to the lab in a little prison cell, and he has to walk all the way back here. So it's really not pleasant if that happens. The classic getting stuck on trees. It sucks to be in a situation like this because MGS3 has some weird collision boxes and stuff, and you can run against a wall or a tree in a way that you think you ought not be able to. You'd think you'd hug the wall or something. You don't. Oh, there's hit number 1. So not only does it reduce your stamina when he hits you, but he also is going to be losing stamina over time. It drains your stamina slowly over time. So he's just going to opt to reset the room and try again. That is $5 for charity, everybody. Right there. Yeah, this is sort of a thing that happens. You just get stuck in a rut. There's not really much that he can do because all he really has to go on is whether or not he's hitting a wall and what floor he's walking on. And that's really all the information he has until he gets to the end when he can at least sort of have a point of reference because the end might be shooting at him. There, so he will have heard the end say there, so he knows roughly where he's at in this western section of the map, and he just knocked on the tree, so now he knows what sound it made. He knows there's a tree there, so he knows only where. He knows where there. Oh my god, I can't talk. There's only trees in so many places, so he kind of has a point of reference of where he's at. All right, looks like he's gonna make it out of the first room cleanly. 1 hit, it's not too bad. If he makes it through the fight without curing these anesthetic needles that are stuck inside of him, which looks like he's going to do now, but if he hadn't cured them, it would have cured automatically at the end of the fight anyway, so it wouldn't be that big a deal, but he doesn't want to risk getting sent back. So he's going to go ahead and cure him now, and on top of that, eat a calorie mate, which fully restores your stamina. So the end is only in that other room. He is not currently in any danger of getting shot by the end. He just needs to find his way to the end. He needs to sort of loop around a little horseshoe shape and go back up a hill, actually into the same room he just left, but into a different part of it. The end is situated on top of a perch in that room that you can't access in any other way. You can access it from this room and a room to the west, but you can only get to that room from the west from this room. So no matter what, he has to pass through this room. And he's on his way now. He just needs to run straight south, and he's there. Very good. So he needs to be a little bit careful here. You'll notice he's taking a specific line, and the reason for that is because the end can actually hear his footsteps. He really does not want to get the end's attention early right now. So now he's stalking, and he also has the cigar on. The cigar is basically a built-in metronome in the game, because every couple of seconds, the cigar reduces your health by a little bit, and every time it does that, it beeps. So he just listens for a specific number of beeps, and then he stops, and he knows he's in the right position when he does. So now he's going to do Sig Spray on the end, which does an incredible amount of damage. Hold him up and do another Sig Spray while he's on the ground. And perfect. That was so good. He didn't even have to go for the backup. That was a perfect 1 cycle end. That was really good. The Sig Spray was enough. It's possible for the end to escape there and run a little bit to the northwest, in which case he would have used the fake death pill to save the fight, but he didn't even need to, so that was really good. I bet you're feeling good about that one.
Yeah, I am. I got lost in the first room, and I was like, well, I could try and worm my way out of this, but you're on a timer. So the end, after he's seen you once, he'll only wait around for a set amount of time, and then he'll run off to a different area of the map. At that point, you know, it's over. There's no way we could find him blindfolded. So I just thought it better to reset, get my time back, and all the other bosses went so well. It's bound to have some trouble somewhere along the way. But yeah, really glad to get the 1 cycle. I never talked during this section, by the way, so I just want everyone to enjoy the music here. Thanks for indulging me on that one. Nick, feel free to talk for as long as you want, mate.
Lovely. I've got to say, I'm absolutely loving this so far. This is such an impressive showcase of skill. All right, we have had a few donations come in. So first of all, we have got $10 from Mockingjay, who says, "You could have just taken your glasses off, as I know how blind you are without them. Good luck on your run, and you'll do amazing like always."
Thanks, Kate.
We have got $11 from Tiny Tim, who puts this towards our bonus game tomorrow. It says, "Hey all, donating for the awesome ApacheSmash and the MGS3 run. This run is always a treat, but Blindfolded Bosses is just insane. Good luck, my friend. You are awesome. Cheers." And with that, I can say that we are now only $20 away from that bonus game incentive getting met. So please get those in. And lastly, I've got $20 from our previous run, our house test. That was some great Metal Gearing. Thanks, UKSG, for the MG block. And let's see what Apache can do when we try to nerf him.
Thanks, housemate. That's wonderful. I know everyone who donated. Hey, guys. Right, we're just making our way up a mountain. We don't want to take an alert here. Taking an alert is bad. It's bad a lot of the time, but it locks the door that we're trying to get to. So we want to go as silently as we possibly can. Oh, I'm actually dreading the next boss. The next boss is we're always saying this on a Metal Gear Solid 3 runs. It's the Fury. It's the hardest boss in the game. It doesn't matter what difficulty you run in. It doesn't matter what category you run in. Whatever you're doing, the Fury is rough. So I'm really not looking forward to it.
Just to jump back in quickly, we have had another couple of donations, and with those donations, I'm very pleased to announce that we have indeed now met the bonus game for tomorrow. So thank you to everyone who has donated for it. We will see that run after the Celeste run tomorrow afternoon, just before 8 o'clock. So thank you to everyone who has donated for that incentive.
Hey, thanks everyone.
On the PS2 version of the game, there's actually a skip you can do where you wouldn't have to meet Eva here in this little room. You could do a weird bug where you climb a ledge and then press R1, which is the first person view button at the same time, and it would make you fall through the wall right above the trigger for the Fury's fight. So you just go right to the Fury's fight, basically, skipping this whole section. It says about 45 seconds or so, but it doesn't work on the HD edition.
We've tried. We really have tried. We've tried everything to get through that door. It would be a great time saver. Alright, before I go into this fight, I'm so glad I remembered this. Before I go into this fight, I'm going to change my camo to the OS cam. A couple of things. It reduces the amount of damage I take by 33%. It also makes it easier for the Fury to see me, which you'd think that would be a bad thing, but we actually do want to keep him looking at us as much as possible. I cannot stress enough how hard this fight is. He can instantly kill you by knocking you off the ledge. He can kill you just from fire. You can run out of ammo. And you can also get just like bad luck where he will sit somewhere on the map and walk around really slowly. If he does that, I'll purposely reset the fight. But as I say, I'm donating $5 every single time I get a continue. I'm on 1 so far, so I'll change over headphones now.
Good luck. So the Fury. As he says, this is the hardest boss on all difficulties, all versions, all categories, whether you can see or whether you can't. So there's very little that you can do to influence this fight. He is mostly random, but you can do something. You can take a good line at the beginning of the fight, which will make him hopefully land to the right and close to you in a good position. He can't really rely on that though because you can't see anyway. So oh, that was close. Yeah, he's so lucky he grabbed the ledge there. As he was walking to the ledge, he got lit on fire, and that has a very real chance of killing you and canceling the ledge grab, but it didn't in this case, so very good. So he's going to mostly stay in this position, and move left and right just to try and chase the Fury around as he moves in these little channels inside the room. And where he goes at this point is totally random. There's very little that Apache can do to bait the Fury out into going to a more beneficial place. All he can really do is shoot the gun and hope he hears it. And because he's on easy, he doesn't really hear that well. So you can see him equipping the box every time he's on fire as well. The purpose of that, as you mentioned before, is the box is fireproof. It will extinguish fire if you're already on fire, and if you equip it and then walk over fire, you won't be lit on fire. The Fury is almost in a good position, but not quite, and he is going to opt to reset. The Fury is just not playing ball, so it's not worth it to try and continue that fight. That is $10 total for charity now. That could have been good, except the Fury... So the Fury was trying to jump away, which is usually pretty good because he has to sit there and charge his jetpack for a few seconds. But he did the quick charge instead of the slow charge. He has multiple charging speeds, one where he'll actually do a long countdown and then jump away. If he does that, Apache knows that that's his opportunity to do loads of damage. He needs to get towards wherever he can hear the Fury at and do his damage. What? Come on.
My suit's been ripped.
Okay, so that sounds like it's bad because he just jumped away, but actually it's not because he's on the southern side of the platform. So that's an opportunity for Apache to get some good damage in because he knows roughly where he's at, and he's doing it. He's capitalizing. Very good. So now he's running somewhere. It sounds like he's running to the north, and he just jumped. So now he's at the far side of the arena again, and he's back into chase mode. He has to sort of rely on the Fury to play nice here. Sounds like he's coming his way again. He's on the left side somewhere. So you'll notice that Apache is intentionally grabbing the ledge quite a lot, and the reason for that is because it's just a consistent point of reference. He knows that if he stays in this rough area and he just runs straight south for long enough, eventually he'll hit the ledge. And as long as you're walking and not in the box, you'll always grab the ledge instead of just falling to your death. So it's a safe way to get a good point of reference for where he's at in the world. Okay, this is not going too bad. The Fury can go much worse than this. So he's almost got him killed. He's down to 1/4 health remaining. He's just flying around. So he's playing aggressive now. Ooh, that was risky. So the Fury was mid-attack when Apache went to go and grab the ledge, which means that if the Fury had hit him with that flamethrower attack before he'd actually grabbed the ledge, the Fury most likely would have knocked Snake off of the ledge and killed him instantly. Because if Snake is recoiling from an attack, he doesn't get the opportunity to grab the ledge. It's always instant death. Running a little bit low on ammo, but he should have enough to finish the fight. One more cycle. One hit. 1 HP. He can do this. Come on, this is your chance. Very good. All right. You know he's happy to have that fight over with. That fight could have gone so much worse. One continue, totally fine. Even in a run where you can see and you're doing the regular speedrun strat, one continue is quite common, if not more. How you feeling?
Really good. Like, I knew I was kind of on death's door there, and it was really unfortunate RNG, and there was a part like halfway through where I was thinking, I should probably reset this, and I had to at one point go from like one. You try and keep him in one like vertical section, if that makes sense, so you don't have to worry about running left and right. But he was trapped in like the section next to me, so I had to find a way to kind of get over to it. It was one of those where I wasn't sure whether to reset or not, and I'm glad I stuck it out, and I was so close to death. it was scary for a while. It was scary for a while, to be honest with you. There's so many risks in that fight. Like you can accidentally like if when I run to the bottom of the map. I thought I didn't have smoke grenades for a second there. When I run to the bottom of the map, it's so I can hear Snake fall off the ledge and grab on. If you just like run off a ledge and grab on, that happens like automatically. If you're in the box, Snake will just walk off the map and die. So sometimes you'll do that when you don't realize that you're in the box. So that could have happened at any point. Yeah, I'm not shaking, but I'm still a little bit like not over that fight yet.
Kid's wired with nanomachines.
So the strategy he's doing here to capture Rykov is actually a European extreme strat that he's adapting to easy difficulty. What he did is he threw a smoke grenade at the base of the stairs so he doesn't get an alert on the guard in the eastern corridor, and then he does a body shot on that guard in the eastern corridor. And that guard and Rykov, who he's now dragging, are basically telepathically linked. And if that guard goes into caution, so does Rykov, which makes Rykov try to run to the nearest radio, which is in this room that Apache's in now. Because of that, he just meets him halfway, sig sprays him, and drags him home, and that's it. That is one of the fastest ways to get Rykov, and amusingly, Rykov is strangely difficult on lower difficulties. He becomes very challenging, because the way that the game handle... Actually, I'll explain this first. He's going to do a box slide. So what he's done is he just equipped the scope, and he's going to lean up against the wall, equip it, look left, equip the box, and he's going to go fast. That was found by Appel as well.
It's a HD collection exclusive as well.
That's right.
I would get it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You know
I
what?
think he saw the box.
It's marathon. Let's try again.
Yeah. Hey.
That second one doesn't save time really, but we're just having fun. Welcome to the unskippable cutscene where Nick tells us all about UKSG.
Thank you very much, Apache. I think we were all on the edge of our seats watching that Fury fight. That was so incredible, absolutely fantastic. We are, of course, still raising money for Crisis, so please keep your donations coming in. We have had a few donations, so let's go. We've got $5 from the Lightning Strikes. Apache, try to remember the basics of IBA. What's IBA, you ask? Insane blindfolded action. You got this, Apache. Get that fire person. I'm not going to say that last word.
Yeah, it's a name that I have for the Fury. It's the Fire something. We won't say that at UKSG, but we have a name for him.
Fire Friend.
Fire Friend. Yeah, that's it.
We have got $20 from the DM Panda. Bonus game hype. And that was the donation that did tick us over to get that bonus game in. So thank you again, everyone who donated for that. And one more. We've got $20 from Fizzy Juice. Keep up the great work, bud. Hate to break it to you, but you weren't blindfolded during Ladder Boss. Need to reset the run.
Do the ladder boss blindfolded. Is that even possible? Like, I'm not sure about that. Seems like it would be a bit difficult. Thank you,
Thank you. Thank you all so much for your donations. Please keep them coming in. We are now at $1,255. So a great effort from everyone. Thank you. Keep them coming, and pass it back to you and Major.
Thanks very much, Nick. Nick's a Metal Gear speedrunner as well, if you don't know. Like, he runs these games too, so it's always handy when you've got a host who kind of like knows everything about the game that you're doing. Good to have you here, mate.
But even you must have your limits.
All right, unlike European Extreme, we can actually use the codec to get out of the cell here. So the cell has 3 different ways to get out. So you can use the fake death pill, you can make Snake throw up, or you can ring the codec number 144.75, and that will automatically unlock the cell as well. It will give us an alert, which we do actually want, because we need to make the Sorrow boss a little bit easier. We're going to be doing the Sorrow blindfolded. I won't change headsets for it, But Major, don't give me any tips or anything during the sorrow. It's got to be all done by me.
I'll try not to. It's a hard one.
Yeah, it's truly a tough one.
I might have to help him at some point. He might just need some help. You don't know.
So as I say, I will donate $5 per continue. We're up to 2 now, so that's $10. Could get a few more. There's a few more tough bosses to go yet.
Something interesting about the prison escape, there was actually another planned method for escape that they dropped, which was a reference to Metal Gear 1 on the MSX. You were actually initially able to punch the wall out and crawl out, or use the spoon. It's not entirely clear which one you were actually intended to do, but they actually had codec calls for it that are still in the game. They're just not accessible.
I'm not even sure that the dogs will attack you once you're prone. I don't think they have an animation for it.
Maybe not. There's a weird like AI bug you can do with them. If you get them, they do like a lunging attack at you, and if you get them to lunge into a building, like one of the ammo huts or food huts, then they'll just never move. They'll just stay there forever, barking at you. It's weird. There's also a strange soft lock in this room. On the Japanese version of the game, and the Japanese version only, for reasons unknown, if you're mashing triangle or the action button when you climb down that ladder right at the very beginning, it's possible for it to soft lock, because it'll give you the codec for trying to use the ladder, which you can't do, and it'll overwrite the mandatory codec that you have to get to progress the room. And it doesn't give you control until you take that codec, the mandatory one, so you just never get control.
Yeah, even when I'm playing in American, I consciously think about that soft lock. I'm like, no, don't soft lock the game. Don't soft lock the game.
Has it happened to you yet?
I've never had it. I've only seen it happen to other people.
It actually happened to someone in a race once, but I think he pressed select, so he took the codec, and then the mandatory one came in.
Alright, here we go. Blindfolded Sorrow.
Alright, good luck. Now this one's real tricky. This guy, he likes to launch the blue things at you, and those do damage, and there's like soldiers walking and they do damage, and then there's water and it does damage. Oh, he's working. It's working.
Gotta wait for a specific audio cue.
Is this gonna work? Nice. I like how you actually messed it up.
I did. That wasn't on purpose. Epic menu. As a side effect of doing the fastest cell escape, we do have an ocelot unit here. We don't take the tracker out because it's not worth going into the menu for. So we'll have to get past an ocelot unit. Basically, we just take the alert. One of them has a shotgun. Shotguns, when they hit you, they knock you down. So that's all we're trying to avoid during this section. Fun fact, I am actually playing on the Xbox Series S. I was having some trouble with my PlayStation 3 today. My PlayStation 3 is very much on its way out. It's old, and it was giving me some inconsistent loads, and I don't think it's going to survive many more runs. Oh, we got hit by the shotgun, damn it. On the PlayStation 3, this load here is about 23 seconds. So this exact load here is 23 seconds on the PS3. And it's, as you can see, much shorter on the Series S. The Xbox version of the HD collection is not without its problems, though, that's for sure. It's got a weird mechanic where it holds out your gun when you change weapons. The D-pad is the analog stick is like simultaneously oversensitive, and if you use like a very small press of it, it's not sensitive enough. Weird version of the game. We're going to go back into our OSCAM here. You don't have to worry too much about camo, so just taking less damage is advised. I need to get this menu right. No, not that. I'm just talking to myself. That menu I just did doesn't look right. Do I have the C3?
You do?
Yeah, it's probably fine. It's probably fine.
You'll get it.
It's fine. I'll just like, because obviously with blindfolded, when you're menuing, you do a set amount of presses for weapons and things like that. So if it's wrong, I'll know when it's too late. But that will just mean more donations for Crisis, so that's all good.
Only the best for Volgan.
Volgan's a tough old boss, and we do get to fight him three separate times. So we get this fight here, then the Shagohod, and then Volgan on top of the Shagohod as well. And all of those fights will be done blindfolded.
You might have just noticed that he walked right in front of those guards with the box on and they didn't even notice him. It's a weird AI bug. In this case, it's actually even weirder because we don't really know why this iteration of it works. There's another one that we do on other difficulties where we make a guard notice another guard who is asleep, and if he walks up to that guard, he won't see the box because he's trying to like wake up his buddy. But in that case, the guard's just sitting there. We don't really know why that one works.
It's probably not even the fastest way to do the room either, it just looks funny on easy. Okay, I'm going to change headphones. This next boss is Volgan, so enjoy.
For Volgan, he's going to do a sort of variation of what we would do on most difficulties. He's going to run up to Volgan and do a CQC attack on him. He's going to do the CQC shove, which is going to push Volgan onto his knees, and he's going to try to stand up. When Volgan tries to stand up, he's going to shoot him once, and then spam shots at him with the SVD. While Volgan is in that animation of standing up, he doesn't have any iframes, so if he can get enough damage output, he can actually finish phase 1 right here. But because of the way that... okay, he didn't get any hits there, so he's probably going to reset the fight here, yep. He was just slightly off because Volgan was in a weird direction. He meant to throw him straight up, but he kind of threw him up and left, so he's just in a weird place. He didn't really expect that. But try again, and I'm sure he'll get it this time. So like I said, if he does enough damage, he can finish phase 1 here, but because of the way that, you can't really see, so you don't really have a whole lot of leeway to adjust your aim. He's going to take whatever he can get. Perfect. And for phase 2, Volgan always starts the phase with that attack there. So all he does is wait for it to hit him, and then once it does, spam square with the SVD. He's already lined up perfectly, so as long as he just waits for that cue to start shooting, he'll pretty much always get the fight right there. That was really good. So that is $15 for charity now.
Yeah, we sadly took a continue. I just messed up something. I think I was shooting too fast, something like that.
You threw him slightly up and left.
Oh right, that can happen. That just means my my run towards him, I wasn't running perfectly like as straight as I could have been.
There they are. They're over here.
Happy to get it second time though. I've had plenty of continues on Volgan over the time I've been running blindfolded bosses. This is an auto-scroller. We're gonna try and deal as much damage to the Shagohod as we can, but essentially we're just trapped here at the mercy of Eva's driving, and Nick will tell us about UKSG.
Thank you very much.
Oh, look, just like that. Welcome back, Nick.
This is the final run for today, but don't worry, we've still got one more day of some fantastic speedruns coming your way. I'll tell you a little bit about them, but we do have one quick donation. We've got $5 from Breezeby, who says, "Hey Apache, stopping in to wish you luck. I know how hard you've been working for these blindfolded bosses. You got this."
Thank you, Breezeby. Good to hear from you, mate.
And that his $5 goes towards the Celeste sound effect Easter egg. So thank you very much for that, Breezeby. So yes, tomorrow we've got a huge host of runs still to come, including our mystery bonus game, the incentive for which has now been met. That will be coming up after Celeste, but there's plenty more to look out for. Check out the schedule. We'll be starting at 11 o'clock tomorrow. So yeah, keep those donations coming in and get some more of those incentives met.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for all your donations. It's really nice to hear from you all. I've known like every person who's donated as well, which is really cool. Thanks.
You know, there's a sound effect bug Easter egg thing in MGS3 as well. If you get shocked by an electric fence and hold R2, it'll cycle through all of the sound effects in the game.
I did not know that. I want to do that. I'm definitely going to do that. Next time I run this game, that's definitely happening. You can get Eva to play some extra sound effects that she's not supposed to during this section, by just shooting at the same time as a cutscene starts, that kind of thing. She'll do like just extra stuff that she shouldn't normally do. She'll do like voice lines from the part 2 of the bike chase, things like that.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's cool.
It's just like a consequence of messing with the cutscenes with RPGs.
You know, there was originally a lot more planned for Bike Chase as well. Thank God they didn't include it, because it would have been way too long. But they initially... So there's a log in the second part of Bike Chase that you have to shoot, and they initially planned for a lot more things that you had to shoot, like branches and gates and fences and stuff. Thank God they got rid of it.
No thanks. That's how I feel about
Snake
that.
would actually communicate with Eva. He would respond to her commands. It's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, no thanks. I'm honestly I'm good for additional bike chase sections. But yeah, we're just heading to the Shagohod fight, and particularly the second part of it, where Volgin is on top of the Shagohod. The only way I can explain this is quite simply, sometimes he will put me in a situation where I can't hit him blindfolded. If he chases Eva and stays in the chase Eva sequence, he can do that. We were testing it before, right? He can just do that for the entire time. He'll just chase after Eva, completely ignore you, and it's impossible to consistently hit him blindfolded. If we get into any ridiculous situations like that, I will just attempt to kind of die and reset the fight. But the other thing that can happen is he will just spam missiles at you, and missiles, even on easy, even with the OSCAM, they do so much damage. So we'll be in trouble if that happens. Hopefully it doesn't.
So this is Apache's opportunity to deal the bulk of the Shagohod's damage. This section here, it's about a minute and a half long or so. He has a lot of time to get some damage in. The damage cap, there is a damage cap on the Shagohod. You can only do 40% of its total health and damage. So it's a significant chunk. Definitely want to get as much of that as you can. He's aiming for that sort of like chin area, just below the head between the two machine guns there. And that's where you get the bulk of your damage from. He has to be a little bit careful, because if he shoots too quickly, you'll notice he's not spamming. That's because if he shoots too quickly, the splash damage for the RPG, it like builds up or something, and it becomes bigger, and it hits the treads, even though you're nowhere near them, and it'll make the Shagohod fall back, and you won't be able to do any damage during that time. So he's pacing out his shots nicely. He's almost got the damage cap here. Oh,
How unfortunate.
I think he got the damage cap. Maybe not.
Yeah, I think that was it.
You got it for sure.
I planted one C3 charge.
1 C3 charge.
Shagohod's not here yet. Can we come closer? Keep your aim steady. Keep your aim steady.
As soon as I hit this, I'll swap over headphones.
Cool.
Keep your aim steady. Keep your aim steady. Keep your here.
All right, so this is the Shagohod. He doesn't have a whole lot of point of reference here for the Shagohod. So the way that this fight works is mostly the Shagohod stays roughly in the middle, and Eva tries to orbit around the Shagohod, driving in a circle around it, which means that it's very hard for Apache to get any sort of point of reference. But he does have a method. Because the camera is always pointing towards the Shagohod, what he can do, he can unequip the RPG and tap up D-pad, which will always make snake face the Shagohod, and then he can just shoot once, which will always hit the tread because he's aiming naturally just at the right position. Aim up a little bit, and then he can hit the weak spot, which is on the back of the Shagohod. In order to end this fight, you do have to hit the weak spot 3 times? I think it's 3 times. Either way, you have to hit the weak spot several times. So he's getting a little bit unlucky here. He's just shooting just barely behind the treads. He's trying to adjust, but it's just so hard when you have... Not only can he not see, obviously, but he can't really hear anything either because there's so much stuff going on. There's loud music, there's loud gunshots, the screeching of the tires is loud, and the Shagohod itself is loud when it moves. So it's hard to get a gauge on where anything is at. He's going to get hit by some missiles here. Okay, thankfully it was just a barrage of 2. He can fire 3, sometimes even 4, so thankfully that was just 2. One more shot and he should end the fight. If he spams shots here, he might be able to end it. Maybe. Nah, he couldn't. So the weak spot of the Shagohod gets iframed for about 5 seconds after you hit it. If you hit it really nicely timed, you can actually get another shot in before the Shagohod drives away. Unfortunately, he couldn't just then, but he did manage to finish up phase 1 pretty cleanly. That's a pretty good phase 1 in reality, all things considered. So this first shot, he always spawns facing the Shagohod in the perfect place, so all he needs to do is just time his shot out, and he'll get a good tread shot every time. But the hard part here is hitting Volgin. That's tricky. So what's going on now is pretty much... Ooh, that was almost really bad, but he got the tread. What was happening was pretty much the worst case scenario where the Shagohod just chases Eva around, and in that case, it's really hard to hit the Shagohod. But he's kind of managing here. He does need to hit Volgin with the SVD. He's in a really good position if he can do it. Okay, so he's about to attack Snake. So this is a good opportunity for him to do some damage. Okay, he's doing the light machine gun attack, so this is a good opportunity. Volgin's vulnerable. If you can hit him. Nice. Yes, okay, that's 1 hit. He needs to do a few more of those. If he's lucky and gets a headshot, that'll do like 75% of his health and damage. So that should kill him in 1 hit if he's lucky and gets it. But right now is an opportunity for him to... very unlucky. His shield was up. So if Volgin is facing Snake at any point, the shield will block any shots that he launches at Volgin. But now he's behind Volgin, so he definitely has an opportunity, but he can't... He's not lined up quite right. Okay, this should be a good lineup. Yes, very good. Oh, another one. A combo. One more of those and the fight's over. This fight can go very wrong. Oh, he got him again! Let's go! Oh, so unlucky. Oh, he got a leg shot, which does less damage. So he just barely doesn't finish the fight, but he gets him. Yes, that's very good. So he managed to mostly avoid the worst case scenario where the Shagohod just chases Eva around in a circle, and in that case, it's really hard for him to hit the Shagohod. Thankfully, he did cancel that one time. Apache, well, you wouldn't be. At one point, the Shagohod was just driving around chasing Eva, and you still got it.
That's what we call in the business the avatar state. So sometimes you manage to pull ridiculous stuff off for like a few seconds. I've dubbed that the avatar state. That fight is really tough to do first time. I had a little bit of luck on my side there for sure, but I'm happy to be out. I'm happy to be out of that fight. Really happy with how that went.
There they are. Don't let them get away.
This is the bike chase. It's an auto-scroller. I should still have the arrow in my leg, right? I'm pretty sure I will. There we go.
There we go.
So I do have an arrow for the avatar state. You know, Aang has it on his head. I have it in my leg. A consequence of this area. Sorry, you go.
No, you go, dude.
Yeah, a
You're right.
consequence of this area is on the PlayStation 3 or on most other versions of this game, it drains the frame rate. It runs very, very slowly. On the Series S, however, there's no lag whatsoever. So we do things to reduce the amount of lag we're getting on most other versions of this game. We'll look at the floor for entire sections, but we literally don't have to do that on the Xbox. We theorize that maybe. Just like maybe occasionally it'll dip below 60 if you're in the cinematic camera, but it would be like a negligible amount of frames. It's actually awesome that we don't have to just look down for this entire section on the Xbox. It's like one of its only redeeming things, I'd say, of this version. This section's always fun. The middle guard will attempt to get above us, the middle platform guard, and he'll go into a position where you can't hit him. Once he goes there, he'll just shine his light on you. You can't aim at him, and he can shoot you. It's always fun. Oh, have I caught fire? That rarely happens. That rarely happens on easy. It happens a lot on Euro.
Fire's actually probably the highest DPS in the game. If you get lit on fire on higher difficulties, it's pretty much a death sentence.
Yeah, it's even on very easy. So you pick up this game, you want to run the game on very easy. There's not many things in the game that will kill you, but the Fury's fire will still take your entire health bar down. You know, if you get caught on fire a couple of times in that fight and don't put it out, you're dead. I think it's tuned too well. It's tuned too high. Please patch Metal Gear Solid 3, Konami. What am I on so far, continues-wise? 3? I want to say it's 3.
It's 3.
I'm really happy with that, to be honest. Let's crash into the lock. No, sorry, I didn't think she would say something so rude on stream. Mature language, please. Right, we got one more room of this. The final boss in the game, the boss, is a good old time Blindfolded. She has a few different attacks. She'll run at us, grab us, and we have to reverse her, or she'll fire her Patriot at us from range. Those are kind of the sound cues we use for Blindfolded. If she's hitting us with her Patriot, she will just keep firing at us, so she won't let up. She'll just... If you let her hit you with the Patriot, she will do it forever. So what I'll be trying to do is wait until I can hear the sound of it hitting a tree or something like that, and I'll know I'm safe. And then it reverses her every time she runs up and attacks me. How am I doing for time, by the way?
I think that's a question for Nick.
Nick, mate, how am I doing for time?
You are 1 hour and 8 minutes in.
Oh, that's decent. I think we may come in underestimate, which would be awesome. It's difficult to set an estimate for Blindfolded because so many things can go wrong. Like, you know, the Fury can keep you hostage in that room for a long time. Alright, last bit. We don't get to do this on PS3, so I'm just going to enjoy it. The cinematic jump.
Just to give our viewers some context, what kind of time would you be expecting for this category if you weren't blindfolded?
He'd be done by now.
Yeah, I'd have finished. Yeah, it does add some time onto the run, that's for sure. I mean, this is the highest estimate I've ever had for MGS3 run at UKSG. I've done it a few times. Normally estimate for, even for European Extreme was like 118, and European Extreme Tuxedo I finished in 115, I want to say, at ESA, so it makes it much harder.
Isn't it a bit rude to roll into Eva?
Yeah, sorry, Nomad as well. I actually didn't mean to do that, I just wanted to roll to menu.
Something strange there is Eva doesn't take any damage from Snake in that room for some reason. So you can roll into her, slam her, or whatever, and she's just fine.
Alright, so we're just going to keep Eva as close as we can to us. Not alert any guards. If we do alert guards on easy, it's fine because Eva will just start mowing them down. Which is something you miss out on European Extreme. Eva's a crack shot. She'll just take out guards. Like, the game implies that she's kind of helpless and you need to, you know, guide her through during the section. But that's not the way the gameplay works.
It might be a crack shot, but she doesn't always take good lines. It's really important that you take good lines because if you do, she will. And all that really matters in this room is getting Eva to the exit as soon as possible because she's the limiting factor. And if you run too far ahead of her, she'll just take some crazy lines. Especially in the next room. Because like, there's several trees that she'll just go the long way around for no reason. She'll even run like, oh, don't even get me started. We'll get it.
I've heard that, I've been told that Eva's sight of view is affected by the camo index, which would make sense because there's a lot of strange things in this game that are tied to the camo index. But it would make sense that it's kind of it feels almost easier to keep her near you in European Extreme than it does compared to a category like Very Easy. So I think there's some truth in that.
So here, if you run too far ahead of Eva right now, she'll just go she'll jump down that hill that was slightly behind Snake there, and then walk the long way around. So she'll like walk backwards, go back up the hill, and then walk around again. Really stupid. And I'm gonna curse you, Apache.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Up ahead, there's a chance she'll go back. So up ahead, if you jump down the ledge before she gets there, there's a chance that she will just run all the way back to the beginning of the room. We have no clue why it happens, but we just hope that it doesn't.
Yeah, there's really nothing we can do about it if it happens. We just have to like accept it.
And it can happen multiple times back to back in the same run. I've lost several minutes to it before. And we're home free.
Okay, we're good. I can't believe you said that.
First time I've ever done that. I've always waited for it to not happen before I say anything.
No, to be honest, if it happens, you just kind of go back and get her, and then hope it doesn't happen again.
And then hope it doesn't happen again, and then hope it doesn't happen again.
Since we're so underestimated, I'll call time in the wig. On the final shot. All right, last boss, the boss. See you on the other side.
Good luck. All right, so the boss always starts this fight with a CQC charge, which you can easily parry and do quite a lot of damage to her. So he's going to take that opportunity.
Let's see what you're
All you need to do is press circle once the red exclamation point appears above Snake's head. And at this point, you have an opportunity to do quite a lot of damage to the boss. Oh, he misses the roll. You can roll into her there and do a little bit more damage. He missed it, though. Probably, I think it was just timing. She probably had iframes from being knocked down. So the Patriot there, the bullets were hitting the wall, and he thought that they were hitting a tree, and he was safely in cover, but it turns out he wasn't. But thankfully, the boss still went for a charge, and he was able to get a little more damage on her. Oh man, he's just getting really unlucky with those rolls. Okay, she's running to cover, so he's going to use that chance to hit her while she's running. Hope that she's in a good place, and now she should shoot the Patriot at him, so this could be risky. Yeah, she does. Okay, she's in cover now, so she should charge him soon. It's been a little while since she's done it. Here we go. Of course, there is also an audio cue for the CQC parries. Snake makes like a huh noise when you can parry. He like grunts or something. You hear that?
Your skills have improved.
I don't think he's got a single one of those rolls. That's really unlucky. Overall, though, the fight's going well. Okay, so she should charge him here when she sees him. Yes, very good. I think this one more cycle after this, and the fight should be done. Now, you do have to be careful when you're parrying the boss, because if you press circle too soon, you'll fail the parry every time, and she'll counter you and slam you on the ground and do a lot of damage. And there we go. That's the fight. Time is not yet. Time will be in a little bit after a shot in the wig in an airplane. GG, Apache.
Yeah, I managed to catch her randomly with the Mark 22. I feel good about that. Normally, like while you're waiting for her to come and attack you, and so you can counter her, there is opportunity to just fire the Mark 22 at her, and I like to get that in as much as possible. But it's very rare that you'll actually hit her. Do the Ocelot dual blind. House said do the Ocelot dual blind. Okay, I'll do the Ocelot.
You gotta do it.
I'll do the Ocelot dual blind. I'm not changing headphones, but I will. So we have an.
I think I can spoil this one for you. Ocelot's gonna be in front of you.
See, no, now you're already telling me the information. I'm really happy with how this went. This is a really clean run of blindfolded bosses. Naturally, the work continues. I had 3 continues total. As I say, I will donate $5 for each of those continues. Thanks for having me again, UKSG. It's my 8th time in the event. I'll keep coming up with new runs, with new runs to do. Hopefully next time will be blindfolded, but the whole game. But I will do I will do the Ocelot fight blindfolded. I've never done it before, so I might get it wrong. But I'll try, alright?
Good execution so far. He's on world record pace, and he doesn't even know it.
Yes, time, by the way, Nick. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. Thank you everyone for donating. Shout out all of the blindfolded speedrunners. We do have a website called blindfoldgaming.com. We have a Discord you can join. If you want to learn Metal Gear Solid or any Metal Gear game and actually look at the game, metalgearspeedrunners.com as well. Great community. I'm ApacheSmash. I'm on Twitter and Twitch if you want to follow me there. And thank you so much for joining me, Major Zero. Appreciate you, mate.
My pleasure.
That's me, Nick. Take us away, mate.
That was an absolutely incredible run. I've been very lucky to have caught some of Apache's streams recently to see him working on this and making progress. But that's the first chance I've actually had to watch the full run in one go, and that was just incredible and absolutely amazing effort. And what a way to close out day 2 of UKSG Autumn. Thank you so much, guys, for showcasing that.
Anytime, mate.
Okay, folks. So, as I said, that is our last run of the day. I hope you have enjoyed this Metal Gear block. I hope you've enjoyed every run that you've seen today. A big thank you to all of our runners, commentators, hosts, and all the tech behind the scenes for what has been a fantastic day 2. We will be kicking things off tomorrow from 11 a.m, starting with Cruel running an any % no ace run of Pokemon trading card game. We've got some other great games tomorrow coming up as well. Sonic 1 Forever, Untitled Goose Game, Robot Wars, Extreme Destruction, to name just a few. Of course, we have also got our very super secret bonus game, which the incentive did get met for. But that is not the only incentive that is still available. Before that bonus run, there is going to be a Celeste any % run with the guitar controller, and there is an incentive. We're currently halfway towards that incentive for a sound effect Easter egg. So $50 out of $100 met so far. So please get those donations in. We've got bid wars on Cuphead, Octopath Traveler, and the Resident Evil HD remaster run. So please keep those those donations coming in. I've been Nick RP Green. Thank you so much for watching today. Have a great sleep, and we will see you tomorrow from 11 here at UKSG. Good night, everyone.